All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 2 Degrees podcast brought to you by the Play On Foundation. And here today, we got someone special for you because he goes by many names, but at the same time, you know him from just rapping and his freestyling and his music. But lately, he is trying to go toe to toe with The Rock, with Terramana Tequila and Ryan Reynolds and his aviation gin, because everybody right now, we got Dubz Priceless with his with his Moscato. Oh my goodness.
Right now I'm showing you the rosé. If you
Okay.
want to see the Moscato, I'll show you the Moscato. Sooner or later there's gonna be a line of everything, but right now I'm gonna show you this is the Moscato, the 15% Moscato.
That's the flagship.
Flagship, and this right here is the new baby. I ain't got kids yet or anything, so I look at these like my kids. So I got my firstborn Moscato, and I got my newborn, a rosé,
That's
13%.
amazing.
That's exactly what
Prestige Priceless. What's
Prestige Priceless. That's exactly what I'll be sipping on with this conversation with you.
Yo, when are you shipping me a box? Ship it to California. It'll meet me in California. Because right
where you're headed right now?
Yeah, right now we are in, I don't even know where we are right now, but it's somewhere between El Paso and Junction in Texas. So we just pulled over to the side. Right now we're boondocking. Hopefully everything's all right. I don't know if it's legal, but man, now I know what to toast you with.
You don't even have to toast. You're on road. You're in your little compartment.
Some sweet tea from Lum's Barbecue.
Enjoy the beverage with me, kid.
Yo. I gotta say, the best brisket I had at Lum's. So if you're ever in Junction, Texas, man, Texas knows how to barbecue. I'll give them.
Say. That's why I'm interested. That's why I want to go to Memphis. Or Memphis has some good barbecue too.
Damn. Where is Memphis? We didn't pass by We didn't pass by Tennessee. Did we pass by Tennessee?
Tennessee.
I don't think we passed by Tennessee. But the crawfish in Louisiana, like that, man, like they say America has no culture in terms of like race or whatever, but they do. If they embrace the foods that they have, man,
it's true.
Because like
at the end of the day, American is a cuisine. It is. Hamburgers, pizza. No, pizza's Italian, but hamburgers, French fries. Like American.
You can't even say French fries because Canada takes French fries. Like we got our poutine too, so we know how to spice up our potatoes. So it's like we got the right stuff. But like American cuisine is you just because like you don't think Creole when you think American. And then if you want to think barbecue, like for me personally, if I'm going to think sausages and stuff, I'll think Germany first before I'll think the sausages they have over here. Really? But that brisket was something else, man. That smoke ring, that man, like I need to know.
It's popping when you can taste like smoke on it, like you taste how long they had it just tender.
It melted. I put it in my mouth and it just melted. That's just the meat just. I'm not even gonna pause that. You could take that to the grave with you. I don't like that's.
I'm not gonna lie, yo. The other day I had a steak.
That made me feel away.
The other day I had a peppercorn steak.
That's another thing too. Is like I wanted to try the steak out here, but like the steak in Alberta is also top class as well. Just because that's That's our Midwest if you think about it.
Yeah.
But Dubz Priceless. Before we get into that, where did the name Dubz come from?
Funny.
Because I was
Because
just
in high
I
school,
was thinking today, I was like, yeah, Monique asked me, she's like, oh, who are you interviewing today? And I was like, Dubz. And it's like, what's his real name? Chris.
I sure.
Chris. And that's the thing where it's like, do people call you Chris or Christopher when they're being formal with you? So it's like,
They call,
I don't even want to know. Where did Dubs come from?
they call me Dubs. Like I feel like that's my formal name. I feel like people didn't even like. But in high school, I went to Lieberman.
Yeah.
Funny because
That was
when
up.
I right grade 9, they used to call me Doughboy. That's my
Okay.
original name. Everybody used to call me Doughboy. And then eventually it started to shorten, and then it started calling me Dubs from it. But it all originated from Doughboy. Then it started from Dubs because a lot of people, and especially my figure, I was really, I still am, I'm a big guy. I'm athletic, so you would never expect that.
Mhm.
So I always looked like I was rolling on Dubs every time. Like, yo.
That's funny. Doughboy. I would have never thought of that. I
Yeah,
thought it's just like, this guy, it's from he likes to make radio dubs for like DJs and dub plates. That's why they call him Dubs.
crazy.
All right. But
And
you
anything.
got Dubs, and then from Dubs, we added the last name Priceless.
Yeah, that's
Where'd that
old.
come from?
As I started getting older, my life started getting a little more, a little more lavish, and a little more. I was standing out a bit. I have one of a kind personality. Some might say that it might be a tad bit priceless. So
This guy's trying to drop some bars right now.
I was
So
like,
now,
what?
and then came Dubs Priceless, and then came music for you.
Was
What set apart, I guess, in terms of all the arts that you could have chose from? Because you also write, and so you do have your rappers out there who don't write their own stuff, but you write your own stuff. So why didn't it just stop at writing? Why did you also step into the booth? What happened?
all right. So I started making music a long time ago. And when I started making music, it originated from college. So it's funny because at college, I started and it was actually just a hobby. Like in college, I was playing basketball. So there's only so much you can do. There's only so much basketball and partying you can do. I didn't really do that much schoolwork, but when I did, I eventually got my advertising and marketing degree. But there's only so much you can do when you're away in Kingston, Ontario. It's not much. So eventually, I got sick of playing video games. I started listening to instrumentals.
Mm.
I started writing to these instrumentals when I was bored, and then eventually, which everyone knows, Sky High. That's the first song I ever wrote, basically, and a full song that I wrote, and that was written in my Kingston apartment,
Have
college.
have I heard the original Sky High, or was it
Yeah,
just the remix that got pushed?
nah, there's original. The original's the one that not a lot of people have the remix.
Because
But
like whenever I think Sky High, all I think of is the intro.
yeah,
Dubs
legendary stuff.
P had to do the remix.
It's legendary. Everyone loved that whole song. The song was so good that it was granted a remix. You don't really remix songs that are good. So
Yeah.
yeah, the original's out there. You can YouTube it still, it's still up.
Mhm.
But that's kind of where my whole crafting thing started, from just writing my hobby, and eventually
Yeah.
you just writing, you try different instrumentals, different tempo, like,
Mm.
and you eventually notice, you start having fun,
Now,
and all that turns into making hooks, and it's all just
I'm curious to know where your sound came from, because especially when it comes to um the guys like you, Quinto, Kid, Jwa, like you guys don't sound like Toronto rappers.
Mm,
There's a cliche sound when it comes to being a rapper from Toronto.
yeah.
Each of you guys have your own individual sound, but yours in particular, what inspired your sound?
Oh, growing up, it's funny. I didn't really listen to rap.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I grew up listening to. I have an older sister that listens to a lot of B, a lot of Aaliyah, early Destiny's Child, Mary J. Blige.
Hmm.
That's what she was playing, and that's like what I'm hearing when she's in the shower, playing music while she's cleaning. Like that's what I'm hearing she's playing. But who I spent most of my time with was my pops.
Hmm.
And my pops played nothing but dance hall and lovers rock reggae. So I grew up listening to R&B and dance hall and lovers rock reggae.
Hmm.
That's all I used to like. We go on road trips when I was playing basketball, and that's all you play. Playing
Yeah.
Stone Love, all I'd be playing. He'd be in the basement, just having a whole breezing, holding a vibe. Kitchen would be shaking, just playing lovers rock in the basement. So,
Hmm.
my love for music came from him, just strictly from that roots reggae.
Sick. Now, what do you think it is about reggae that Toronto just does it different?
Yeah.
Toronto introduces reggae to hip hop in such a different way. What do you think is it? Like is there just a different type of reggae culture in Toronto that is nowhere else in North America?
Oh, I just think that culture out here is just a whole lot of, because what's crazy about it is that you can get a little bit of everything here. That's what makes Toronto such a crazy place.
Hmm.
So many people from different places, and especially with the Jamaicans out here, it's like you have a whole strip dedicated to Jamaicans with Eglinton West.
Yeah.
That sound is what derives from a lot of stuff.
Hmm. I always found that interesting where it's just like you have you'll have American songs where they'll try and incorporate a rhythm or something, but it's like it's so cliche. And then you give it to a Toronto guy and it just flows so much smoother in that. And then it's like and then if it's not Sean Paul, it just doesn't seem to catch the airwaves where it's just like it's hard to pick up. And then every now and then you'll get like a gem like Cardinal coming out
Yeah,
and rep it
it's
hard.
they really don't get it until other people really get it. So that's where you kind of just have to build your own lane.
Hmm.
Never really aspire to sound like anyone, anyways, right? You should
Yeah,
just have your own sound.
yeah.
So crazy. So like I make music and I rap, but like I never grew up listening to rap,
Hmm.
being reggae. So probably why it sounds a bit different when I do it.
Yeah. I wanna throw back to a memory real quick to see because like I was thinking about this earlier and I just couldn't seem to remember. But what was the song that we at the karaoke bar in LA?
Uh, Yo, you want to know something really funny? Is it's funny because not even thinking about you,
Hmm.
I was thinking about LA that one trip today. You know why?
Hmm.
I was watching Insecure, and the light skinned dude from Insecure was in that karaoke bar. Like,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, so I was watching. I'm like, oh shit! Like last time I was in the karaoke bar, and he was like on road in LA.
That's
And it's
so
funny,
funny.
and that was the same karaoke bar that you're talking about right now. I don't remember what song did we do, but
We shelled it.
come
We
on, like you
shelled
went
it.
to work, yo. They will never know that we did karaoke in LA
Man,
and we shut down the place. Like,
I gotta find out what song it was because like right now we're just road tripping and it's just all playlists of just bangers, songs that you'd sing in the shower, and it's just old school R&B hip hop to Red Hot Chili Peppers to Hotel California, and it's like, but what was that one song that just shelled down this random hip hop karaoke joint, and I can't for the life of me remember. But the reason why I throw back to LA is because I also want to touch base on this comparison that you and Kid made that I couldn't quite remember, but what was that analogy of the chef and the scientist? Or was it, am I getting that right?
Nah, so we go by the chemist and the cook.
Chemist and the cook. Okay.
Chemist and the cook.
Fill me in.
He is the chemist. And we call him the chemist because what he does is he builds the beats. He gets all my crazy ideas. So I'm the crazy one. I don't believe in structure that much, and whatever I feel is what we do. So
yeah,
he's really good at taking my wild ideas and filtering them. So that's very chemistry. So that's why he's the chemist. I get the cook, and I'll do all the hooks and the melodies. So that all works. So we call me the cook chemist.
Why?
And which is crazy. You spell it K and C. So he's the chemist with the K because his first name is Chris with a K. And I'm the cook with the C. So yeah, D.
I wouldn't have gone as far as it was deep, but no, yeah, I get it.
Come on, the chemist and the cook.
No, but like I like that analogy. Do you think can you compare any other collaborations in the industry where you can point out a chemist and a cook?
Timbo and Missy.
Who's who?
Timbo would definitely be the chemist, and Missy would definitely be the cook. Yep.
That's a dope comparison. I like that.
It's very unorthodox. And all we need is an Aaliyah. We're out of here. So,
Damn.
Any Aaliyahs out there, anyone that wants to sing and any aspiring singers that want to take on a role of aspiring Timbo and aspiring Missy, let us know. We can work. We can cook.
Did I try to hook you guys up with a singer?
And these singers nowadays, man, they're not really serious, man.
Damn. No, I feel that. So then now you got music. And in my opinion, you are one of the dopest with your sound, your individuality when it comes to your bars. Now, but where did the desire to get into wine come into play? I'm still confused about this, where all of a sudden it's like, because I want to say, especially that circle where it's like you, Monsta, Quinto also falls into that, where it's like you guys have these endeavors that just come out of nowhere. Like the other thing that pops in my head is Mandem Monopoly.
It's an amazing idea. It's just so out of pocket. It's genius.
So where did Prestige Priceless come from?
All right, so it all stemmed during the quarantine. So during the quarantine now, honestly, I'm not really a drinker that much. But during the quarantine, I noticed that honestly, I just started drinking. And I'm like, yo, I don't even drink that much, but I started drinking. So at first, I was honestly me and my guy Petey were kicking it a lot, and that's the Henny God. So this guy was just bottles of Henny every day. We're drinking Henny. I'm like, bro, I can't keep drinking this Henny. I can't drink like that no more. It's like, all right. So eventually, sorry, that's the landline. I don't even know.
That's the business line. That's the bat phone.
That's the landline.
When was the last time you answered a landline call?
That's like answering your doorbell. Just certain things that we don't do anymore. You don't answer your doorbell no more unless someone calls you to be like, yo, I'm outside. If you just rang my doorbell, I think you're Jehovah's Witness.
Oh man. have you ever went toe to toe with a Jehovah's Witness person?
One time I was smoking in my garage and they knocked my door and they said, "Excuse me, sir." So I'm kind of busy right now. Whole lot of sinning going on in here. You should probably come back another time when I'm not smoking.
You should. I'm curious though, what would have happened if you invited them in? It's like, yo, you've been on your feet all day. this is natural. Jesus would
that,
have, you
that
know,
time where I tried to convert the Jehovah Witness to go green.
Jarostify witness.
But yeah, so yeah, I
But
was
yeah,
drinking a whole lot of Henny during the time, and I'm like, yo, honestly, man, like I'm not even built like this anymore. Like I'm not trying to wake up with a hangover. Like
mm.
it burns when I drink it. Like I'm not built for this anymore. So I'm like, you know
Henny is
what?
meant for the club though. That's not like I'm just gonna be at home and watch Netflix.
I'm not built for that anymore. So I'm like, all right. So I started experimenting with wine. So I started drinking a whole bunch of Moscatos.
Hmm.
So I started going to LCB and just picking up bottles of Moscato, drinking Moscatos. You know, it tastes good. So I enjoyed I enjoyed the Moscatos. Can't lie. So one day I was sitting in my garage now and I had like 4 different bottles of Moscato, all different brands.
Hmm.
I know jack shit about wine. Well, I just know I have 4 different wine bottles that I just went to the LCB and I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty. That wine looks all right. I might try that one. Like, just out of hunch. Barefoot? Oh, I'm gonna try the barefoot. so so one day I'm sitting at these 4 different bottles. I'm like, you know what? I'm here spending my money on all these different wines and I don't know jack shit about these guys. I'm
Hmm.
just going off presentation. I'm like, yo, why can't I do that? I'm like, I could make one. I can,
Okay, no, that's
I
fair,
can,
man. That's fair.
I can do this. And that's exactly how this idea started. And then I started engulfing myself in the wine culture. I started doing my research and I'm just like, yo, this is something I could get into. And one thing turned to another, then it turned into a branding, then it turned to everything, and then turned into what we're looking at today.
Hmm.
The end
Hmm.
result, the Prestige Priceless gift box. Get 2 wines in a box.
So how involved are you then with like the recipe, with picking the grapes, with
Yeah.
acquiring the winery, I guess, and the barreling? Like, talk to me about like the ground floor.
Okay, so I do have somebody that I call Heisenberg. So me and Heisenberg, we're pick and roll. So that we
Hmm.
go talk, we have long talks at night sometimes, just on
Do I
our
know
own.
Heisenberg?
Nobody knows Heisenberg. Come on
Damn
now.
it.
So we have long conversations. So I tell him my vision. I let him know exactly what I need, what it needs to taste like. I told him, especially with the Moscato, when we're starting the Moscato,
Hmm.
what makes my Moscato different from other brands is that a lot of Moscatos tend to be extremely sweet.
Hmm.
And I noticed when I was drinking the Moscatos too, I didn't like when it was too sweet. I noticed that it was kind of giving me a headache. I'm like, yo, how can we make a Moscato that is not super sweet, but base it on the flavor of the grape that we use? We got to cooking and we finally found a blend. And I also noticed when I was drinking my wine that a lot of these Moscatos on the market, they only were like 3%, 5%. And me as a big man, if I'm drinking Moscato, like I'm gonna have to drink like 5 bottles to get drunk. Feel something. 5% Moscato is not really doing anything. So what makes my Moscato a little different than others that I have? I'm 13%.
Hmm.
So if you drink 1 bottle of the Moscato, go go feel a little bit.
Yeah.
You feel a little bit. So that's exactly
Now,
what I want.
let's say this was like a wine tasting
Mm-hmm.
and you got 40-year-old white women ready to try your drink. How would you like set this drink up? What would the description be?
It would be for someone that's a little edgier. If you're
Mm.
tired of the normal and you wanted to be, because I expect prestigious prices just fermented in the finest of grapes. So if you wanted to taste something, if you wanted to taste something that's different than others in the market, and especially, and if you're 40, like you just want to chill. You've seen it all. You said, so why not relax with a bottle? Like,
Now, how would you say like because you said you went to school for advertising and marketing.
yeah.
Have you put any of that to use when it comes to pushing the brand here?
It's funny because I don't notice how much stuff that I use in that advertising and marketing stuff use that stuff in like everyday life. It's not even just when it comes to branding of my market. Like I look at myself exactly as a brand myself. But if I apply what I've learned that course to just who I am as a person, that helps me out as a brand, as a person, you know?
Yeah.
So I use that in my everyday life. It's actually crazy because some of the stuff that I learned in advertising and market, I'll be just going through my everyday life, like, I gotta like understand my target market or like PowerPoint and this, and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot that I learned this back in the day. That's what's in right now.
For the marketing aspect, then, what would it take to bring Prestige into the next tier? Like, what is it what can push it? What are you looking for? What's the goal?
I think eventually, like I would like eventually like to see it in the LCBOs and you know a lot amongst the competitors. You know, at the end of the day, like someone as an entrepreneur, you'd always want to see your stuff stacked up against the best of them, right? So like one day I eventually hope to see it in a line with the different Moscatos of the different roses of the game, right? Now I just enjoy being an entity, you know, I enjoy being a prestigious brand from Toronto. Like, you know, I noticed that like you can't really get Bel Air Rose out here. In Toronto, you can go to the States to get Bel Air Rose. So
Yeah.
if you're American and you want to try this Prestige Price, you gotta come out here, try it right now. So, you know, I enjoy being the exclusive one, the one of one, the prestige of it right now. So, you know, that's what I'm gonna kick out of it right now. And just, you know, I'm enjoying building the brand and just taking the lumps and just going through the stages of it, you know. No one's gonna be perfect overnight, and I'm learning that, you know, but I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah. So then in order to get it, people just need to order it directly from you?
Yeah, just directly through me. You can hit me through my I got a spot, a Shopify, Prestige.Priceless. You can order bottles from there. You can hit me up on Instagram. It's very hands-on, you know, and that's basically, I feel like that's the best way to build the brand right now. You know, just be very hands-on, shake hands
And
and kiss
you ship
babies.
all across North America?
Right now, I'm just doing the GTA,
Okay.
Canada and Toronto. So I'm just doing Toronto basically. Right
Wait, you
now.
lost me. GTA, Canada, Toronto. What is
Yeah, I'm just doing the GTA in Toronto right now.
Gotcha.
Greater Toronto.
Man, I still want to try this because I've always been a fan of Moscato.
Talk behind the scene. I can sort that out for you, and I got you. But for now, I'm just, you know,
I need to figure out like what do you call it? Like a mailing address.
right. You're nomadic right now.
Oh man, I know. Like we're driving today, and today was the first time we pulled into no, last night. So we pulled into a rest area. Yo, you know how in Canada you have those rest areas, like trucks can pull over on. In the States, you got full on like mini campgrounds, if you will. Like you pull off, so much space. There was like plugs and outlets we could put the generator into, and so we were able to have power overnight. And then we drove off, stopped over in another rest area, and like we were able to refill on water there. And I was like, yo, this is, I'm just living right now, just trying to get by, and just all what I need is just one rest stop away. And it's like it's just, I don't know, it's just taking care of a lot more in the States.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was to do this in Canada, it'd be a lot harder. But
Yeah, hassle.
I don't know. This is, hopefully something lands and I get casting something down here and I can just stay in the hot weather as long as I can. Because like
your journey is different right now. So whatever's coming for you is definitely coming for you just now. So like,
yeah. Ugh.
just bear with it.
How you been, man? Fill me in on what's going on in the world of Dubz Priceless.
Regardless of the wine, like especially now that you know that it's Christmas time, holidays, so a lot of people are just getting their orders in. You know, what better way to get an order? You just, everybody drinks wine, so you know, and especially that it comes in this beautiful, magnificent gift set. Like easy to wrap. Like you just wrap this up, you open it up, like you're like, oh, what is this? A console? Like a PlayStation in this? Like, no, you get a nice little gift box, so
This
here.
guy.
It's all about presentation. I didn't even know a little baby was in here just holding, like all about presentation. So, like a lot of people, I'm just dealing with a lot of that. Like a lot of orders are coming in. I'm just getting them
Whose
out.
idea was the alligator skin box?
Come on, I'm Jamaican. Come on.
Jeez, this guy. I can see you in like presenting that on stage, but then you coming out in a full alligator suit just to be as Jamaican as you
Just
possibly can.
you already know the square front boots are.
Oh my god. Who was it? Who's the artist? Bun a square. What is it? Bun a tight pants and a square front shoe.
Square front shoes? Yeah, I'm coming out with square front shoes. Eaters.
Jeez, that's fresh. That's fresh. Monique got me some cowboy boots that were square front, and I'm like, yeah, these can go
Yeah.
on. Oh man, Dubz, so good to see you. So good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, man.
Is there any music coming out soon?
Yeah, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the works right now. I've been writing for some artists, so you should be able to come hear that soon. I'm not gonna expose some new upcoming artists that got some new stuff in the works. Kid producing, we're writing together. So it's a lot of interesting stuff, man.
Are you allowed to tease any of the new talent?
Nah, I don't really want to get that out of the work because we're still working on some other stuff behind the scenes. But
Okay.
sooner or later, you're gonna hear that. You guys might be surprised, but I always keep an idea tucked. That's one thing about me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now with music, as a fan of your music, I have to ask, are we gonna expect any more young veteran stuff?
Crazy how old are we at? Like I'm making wine now. Kids are producing more for other artists. Alex is a movie star.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna give you something, but it's like in the work to like like when we're all in the right space right now, so we could get you something.
Because
Right now it's hard.
you guys still have you guys have unreleased stuff though, right? Just sitting stuff. Yeah.
For sure.
Man, I just want to hear some more
For
of that
sure.
stuff.
For sure. But you know what that is? That it kind of builds the anticipation. Like feels like they're gonna when we are ready to give you something. Like you guys been waiting because that first project was crazy. That first project was crazy. Come on, that first project was
y'all
crazy.
just gave him 2005 and just said, nope, we're gonna end on a high.
Nah, we're good. We gotta wait for a bit, but trust me, when you're ready to hear what we got,
man, I just remember just like giving everybody the call. It's like I want to get the band back together again.
It's like that's an idea. You sparked 5. That's always gonna be out there. Always gonna be on records. We made a full project. Like no matter what, no matter how old we get, we're gonna be able to go on Spotify, any type of platform, and type in that 2005 YB, and it's gonna be like,
yeah,
we did.
I'm just going on I'm putting together little projects here and there, and I'm just dropping in little YV music. 1, because it's dope. 2, because y'all ain't gonna charge me for that. So I'll market you guys in these short videos. I'm forever gonna be plugging you guys. Hopefully one of these days one of it hits and the band just has to get back together again.
Right? We're still here.
Y'all should just come out with Christmas music. Yo, that'd be tight.
That's what you want to hear.
Because then it'll get replayed every year. We need hip hop Christmas music. I'm just saying. I'm the ideas guy. You know this.
That is a good idea. That is a good idea.
Nobody listens. Because I was talking to Kid too. I was like, yo, mans need a birthday song. Because it doesn't matter. Because those are the things that get looped. And then as soon as like a rapper drops out because of allegations. There goes Two Step with R. Kelly. No, we can't play that no more. Even if it's your
I
birthday. Sorry, no.
don't even think you can say his name. I don't even
You
think
gotta
you
say
can.
you gotta say Robert.
I
Robert K.
don't even get his name.
Man, it's just wild though when it comes to that where it's just that constant discussion of separating the artist from the art. And it's like, doesn't that make everybody an accomplice in a sense? Because it's like we're all listening to the music back in the day and then we were enjoying it without
Until, but that is until you finally know the true faces of a real person, all right?
man. Then like doesn't that mean you need to yourself go into some kind of repentance
No,
for
no,
actually
because
enjoying it?
we were fooled too.
Hmm. So
Like,
then that's our sin then. That's our sin. Was we allowed ourselves to get fooled and we have to go to confession for that now. Because it's just
no,
like
I don't agree with that. Like, I, I'm the victim.
this guy. Ah, so before we end this off, I wanna dive into some mental health with you. How's your mental? How are you keeping sane?
Question: how am I keeping sane? You know what? Lately, I've been working with a lot of youth.
Hmm.
Um, been coaching basketball.
Oh, I was gonna say, what you got them making your wine? Just a bunch of kids
Nah, I don't
stepping
have a
on
whole bunch of kids
grapes.
doing the heel and toe and do the Harlem Shake on wine. Nah. I've been coaching. I've
And
been coaching ball.
they only get to listen to your music while they do this.
The Dubz Priceless sweatshot. Nah, but yeah, lately I've been working with a lot of kids, and I noticed that like it's kind of fulfilling, you know, especially like
Didn't you just get like a coaching position for
yeah. So I've
some?
been coaching basketball lately, and you know what, like kind of fulfilling when I'm able to give back, and a lot of these kids, and it's high school too. So like, you know, I'm not old, older than them, but I'm not old, so I'm able to kind of like relate with these guys. So they look at me as like kind of like an older bro, like you know, not like a authority figure. You know, they
Hmm.
come to me as advice, and you know, like I'm able to reason with these guys. So it's like I know what these guys are going through because you know I was just there. So you know, if I can steer them in a different way other than like you know where I went wrong. Where if you listen to me, you could make a different move and result in a different result than happened for me.
Hmm.
I just noticed this kind of another the other day. I noticed kid hit me up in my inbox like yo, I wanna thank you, coach, for just always pushing me and you know always just being down my back just to be a better person. And then it hit me. I'm like yo, I'm like damn, like I didn't even like when I started doing this, like I didn't even think that I was gonna impact kids like that. I was just
Hmm.
doing it for like you know helping out a friend, but like who knows? Like that's what I'm saying. Like you know, it doesn't really matter what you do, just take it kind of seriously because you never know what impact you can have, or you never know who's watching.
Hmm.
So you never know what could come out of an opportunity. So you know, you just do stuff with reason.
That's dope, man. So with that, what was ball like for you growing up? How was that an
Oh man,
influence?
that was my first love. Like that's what my pops put me in first. Like that's where all the road trips would come. Like he would drive me around everywhere. Like
Hmm.
and for Scarborough Blues at a young age. Then with Corey and DeVoe, like basketball was my first love. Like you know, but it's dope that I can eventually kind of give back from what I learned. So it's interesting.
Hmm.
These kids say the darnest thing. So crazy stuff.
Give me an
I
end
can't.
or like a fun
Uh,
moment that
every
nothing.
day.
Ah,
Nothing. I don't want to expose these kids, but every day I find the reason to be like, am I going to be righteous or ratchet? Some of these kids say some crazy stuff, and I'm just thinking, I'm just like, you can't be saying all that craziness anymore.
that's
Like,
funny. Give me one. Then let's go in a different direction. But like, give me one moment where it was like, where it was like a Disney ending moment where I was like, where you could sit back on the sideline and just be like,
Just watching these kids develop as like men and like basketball players, like seeing these kids like it's just something so like small, but like just the other day I walked in the gym and like they were dunking. Like I remember when I first came to this program and like I seen them struggle to like touch the mesh.
hmm,
Now they're dunking with authority. So I'm just like, okay, like getting better. So
yeah,
they're
damn. What's your opinion on the development or the evolution of the game in terms of everybody is kind of an all around player now?
I mean, I don't mind it. I think just like with everything, like eventually everything is gonna change with time.
Hmm.
But nothing is gonna stay the same. Fads go and come back, and eventually things that were popping back then are not gonna be popping, but guess what? They're gonna come back. Exactly like the game of basketball. So what's everyone's shooting 3-pointers now and the game's adjusting. It's just gonna take that one Shaq-like figure to
Hmm.
come back and dominate the game in the post, and everyone's gonna be like, you know what? Maybe we need to go back in the post. But it's just
Hmm.
generational. That's just how things goes. It just goes with the
Yeah.
time. I
No,
just
that's
love,
interesting.
yeah, man. It's just how this life.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because it's like I would have never thought that it would circle back around. I figured like you'd have to master every position now if you're gonna try to even step into the game or
How
like
you how you do.
hmm,
That's exactly what you do. You have to be versatile in every single spot. Like you gotta
yeah,
play one. Like don't even really have centers anymore. But that's what I'm saying. It's gonna take one day for someone to be an extremely dominant center to go in the post again and
yeah.
post up and dominate. And they're like, okay, like oh, we forgot this.
So you genuinely believe it's gonna go back to like you're gonna need to be a master at one position.
No, I don't think it'll ever go back to that.
Hmm.
But I think that some of the positions are kind of dead. But like eventually you'll be like a dominant player that will change the game. I think not necessarily in a position. Like a lot of people are shooting threes now. Like you have to shoot a three. If you can't shoot a three, like done for.
Hmm.
But eventually there'll be a good dominant post player and he'll have his footwork right and give you 40 points in the post with no 3-point and the game will change. People will be like, you know what? Like we need to go back to the Shaq days, or we need to look more in the post for
Hmm.
because there's a lot of post touches in.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to the mid range. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Do you think any of your kids have potential for that in terms of being the next dominant player?
I've seen a couple people throughout the program that have a lot of potential, but notice one thing I notice a lot about basketball is not really what you think right now. It's just like how much you keep playing.
Hmm.
A lot of these kids, like even from when I was growing up, like stop playing after a certain while, or they just lose focus. As like as long as these kids, because there's so much avenues and rules, like there's so much lanes to play basketball now that will feed your family, that will feed you,
Yeah.
that we didn't even think of back then. So there's just so much opportunity now. So it's like if you really want to play basketball, like there's absolutely nothing that should stop.
Do you have any kids there that are showing interest in other things? Like you have a really dope center, but then he's like, yo, I just want to be a astrophysicist.
Yeah, I do, but like they're at that weird age where I think that their parents are pretty influential too. So I feel like some of them are just kind of like doing this to appease their parents or their mom. But there are people that I see that show interest in a whole other stuff.
Damn.
But it takes time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with playing basketball till you find. Like I was in college, I was on a scholarship playing basketball till I
Hmm.
wrote my first run in my college apartment. So like, it takes time. Use
Yeah.
basketball until it's ready to give
What was the turning point for you where like, eh, maybe not. Maybe not basketball, but something else.
college. And I was like running hard in practice and my knees were hurting me. And I was just like I don't know.
Because for me, like, I was doing really well in hockey, and then one year just came around where everybody else grew, and I was the shortest person on the ice. And there's only so much finessing you can do on the ice when it just takes one big
Physical.
6-foot guy just to pin you against the board and just be like, oh, all right, I forgot this is physical. Okay, cool. So it's like, oh, it's just one of those funny things where I always think about where, especially when it comes to basketball, that stereotype of, oh, you're 6 foot, you play jumping sports.
Right.
Because like I remember Avril used to talk about it too, where she just like she gets really annoyed when people ask her like what sport she plays. Uh,
I mean, Avro's 6'7", so yeah.
she should have played a jumping. Oh man, I've never done this before, but just because I haven't filled this in a while, it's like a daily journal thing. I just want to ask you a few questions just to catch up and see what somebody else would put in these spots. But on this date, the question is, what was the last risk you took?
The last risk I took, I feel like this one thing. To invest my time, my own money, my sanity, like just the belief for it's like, like if I 100% believe in something that I really see in my vision, like is it gonna map out? Trust your vision, trust your gut.
You're enjoying the journey so far?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying the journey. I am enjoying.
One thing you've learned in it that's like you didn't consider when you first signed up for it?
What's something I learned during this whole wine journey?
Yeah.
Inventory.
What do you mean?
Just especially when you're doing this thing by yourself, and like, because like, when I first started, like I didn't really make a lot of batches in the wine, so I only came out with like a certain amount, and I'm just like, everybody, I'm selling wine, and then like 2 days later, I was just like, oh shit, like I don't really have any wine left. Everyone's hitting me up, and like, you want wine now? It's just like,
So what's the turnaround like? So let's say from when you say you want to make a bottle, how long does it take you to make a bottle?
For my I like to go around a little 5-week process. That's we get this dioxa, yeah. So
yeah, makes sense.
5 week.
So is your house now like a storage, partial storage? That's funny.
Definitely is.
All right, next question.
Funny.
What 5 words describe your current mood?
What 5 words describe my current mood? Wow. 5 words that describe my current mood. I am really about winning. Like,
yeah, I feel that.
Like, I'm really about my craft. I'm really about who I am person right now and what I'm on. So I am really about winning.
I feel that. And last question to wrap up. Oh, you froze. You there? Cool. What would you like your epitaph to read?
What would I like
your epitaph, your tombstone?
What would I like my tombstone to read? I haven't even thought about that yet. What kind of crazy question is that?
Hey,
I have not thought about my demise yet.
Introspective. That's what's happening here.
You want me to think of my demise? I haven't thought of my demise yet, but
not so much your demise, but the legacy that you're gonna leave. Let's think of it that way.
I like to think of myself as people person. So like if you really know who I am as a person and you're able to encounter like any if you encounter my space, and just you'd have to really know that I'm an extremely positive person, and like we've shared laughs. You just know I'm extremely genuine, and I just mean good. So like, if I was able to encounter you in any way, and just know that I'm a genuine person, and if that tombstone was supposed to read anything, just make sure that it read like, I don't know, like. I don't know. This is a crazy question. Let that tombstone read.
Dubz Priceless. I hope I affected your life positively.
Yeah, like, did we share a laugh?
Throw the question back at them. Just like, I don't know what it should say, but what do you think?
Did we have fun? Dubz Priceless. Did we have fun?
Did we have fun? I like that. I like that. And I'm pretty sure everybody that you encountered and everybody that would come visit you would answer that question with a definite yes.
Facts.
But Mr. Priceless, Mr. Dubz, Mr. Government, insert government name here. This was amazing having you on, and so dope hearing about Prestige Priceless, and I'm so excited to try your beverages. Hopefully I'm still drinking by then, because like I'm also having like thoughts of sobriety, or just like when would that kick in, because I always hear like
Probably
different.
wasn't the best podcast to do that.
Right? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Liquor.
Oh man. Oh, but because you're also affected by it, I guess this would also be a fun question for you, because with this podcast, it's also pushing the agenda for this podcast to push on the Play On Foundation as well, just to bring awareness to that. And Nate was a big influence on your life as well. So I guess what's one thing that you would tell Nate today if he was around?
I bet you didn't know I'd be selling wine.
Hey. No, I love that. I love that. And he'd probably be repping that hard too. He'd be all over that.
1,000%.
Ah.
1,000.
But Dubz Priceless, everybody watching
Yes,
out there.
sir.
This is the 2 Degrees podcast, brought to you by the Play On Foundation. And it was a pleasure having you on. And I wish you all the best with
Sir.
your wine, with your art, with music. Can't wait to hear what you have in store. Everybody, check out the link in the description if you are in the GTA. Or maybe he'll make an exception and send you some cross country. But Prestige Priceless Rosé, that's what it's all about. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Peace.
That